Hey, what's going on, everybody? I just wanted to direct your attention to the BCCC covered call ETF from Global X. And, you know, guys talk about, we hear about like the covered call strategy, how it works in downturns, and how it's, best suited for flat markets or downwards markets, right? The upwards trending markets, we've seen the HYLDs and the HDIVs, increasing their dividends. But this is kind of an anomaly. This isn't a super huge ETF. It's got like 10 million AUM. So I know maybe not a ton of investors hold it, but I hold it. And I'm going to show you guys something here because BCCC over the last couple months, Bitcoin's been going down. So down over 10% over the last 3 months here. And we'll go over to our stocks and we'll take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin over the last month down 13%, okay? And BCCC over the last month about the same, 13%. And here's IBIT, which, tracks Bitcoin. It's down about 15%. And this is actually the ETF that BCC holds, which is IBIT, and they write covered calls on up to 50%. Now, here's what I want to direct your guys' attentions to. So, Global X just announced their semi-monthly November distribution. So, here's BCC and BCCL. So, BCCL is the leveraged version of BCC and just uses leverage to get more exposure towards that IBIT position. But we're going to focus on BCC because their current distribution that they just came out with, at least for the next two distribution cycles, is 17 cents. Now, this is where the proof is that the covered call strategy works because, again, you're talking about tracking an asset that's down 13 to 15%. And you look at the distributions, and this is where I find it interesting. We went from 14 cents up to 17 cents. So not only did they maintain, the income got maintained, but the income actually increased because of the volatility of the asset that it was tracking. Okay. And so that to me, look no further than that for proof that the covered call strategy works, right, guys? It's nice when, the markets are going up and maybe we're tracking an index like the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, and you can see, some share price appreciation and some dividend increases. But, when things are down and people are selling off and people are scared, that's when the strategy really shines. And again, guys, that increase from 14 to 17 when the underlying asset is down 15%, to me, that gives me a lot of confidence in the strategy. Global X is, more or less pretty stable with their distributions. So I know that there has been times they've increased it, there has been times they've decreased it, but I'm going to be curious if they maintain these distributions going forward. Again, guys, we're focusing on BCC here, but BCCL, you might think maybe they increase their distribution as well because they're at 17 and a half. However, if you go to BCCL, they've been at 17 and a half. So, they didn't increase that distribution, even though they got enhanced exposure to that asset. And I don't know the underlying mechanics of why, maybe that enhanced exposure, it trended down a bit too far, to make up for those covered call premiums. I'm not really sure, but it's pretty exciting to see that even in a downtrend, like I said, guys, 15% down, and not only are we maintaining income on both the leveraged and the non-leveraged, but we are increasing those dividends. So it gives me confidence to see that. Figured I'd share it with you guys. I know that BCC, it's not a huge position for a lot of people, but it does track Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's getting a lot more popular. So again, guys, nice big jump from 14 up to 17, and that's in a trending downward market. Anyways, guys, hope you're having a great weekend. Leave me a like, leave me a comment. Catch you guys in the next video.